Title page, opening artwork, table of contents, forward, preface, one moment. There we go. Once upon a time, a long time ago, in what has now become only a distant memory, it was once summer in Central Oregon. Summer has definitely become my favorite time of year. I used to be a winter person. I used to love getting bundled up and going out and throwing snowballs and making tracks in the snow and building snowmen. And that is all behind me now. I think some of it was tied to my weight loss from 2010 to 2012 when I lost about 70 pounds. I used to be a very hot person. I would get random sensations in my hands. They would just get hot, so hot that I just needed to go get something out of the fridge and hold it, which worked quite well with my wife because she was chronically cold, and so holding hands was not only romantic, it was actually beneficial for both of us. But anyway, at age 45 now, here in 2020, I do think my excessive chilliness is due to some aging and perhaps other medical issues, but overall, point being, I like and appreciate more than ever in my life a good 85 to 90 degree day, which we don't get enough of here in Central Oregon, frankly. We do get summer. It's frightfully unpredictable. There was one year summer started in April and it went all the way through October. And then there are years where we just don't get summer weather until about mid-July, and it's already fading by mid-September. So starting in 2018, I started to get out more. I started to hike on a lot of the local trails. I had a lot of fun getting out and exploring in the hot weather. And so summer really has, in the past 2 years, become my absolute favorite time of year. Frankly, if California weren't so bizarre in their politics and weren't so pricey in their taxation, that is the kind of weather I would love. I would move to Southern California because then I would get the weather I like now all year long. I do want to proceed with my workout journal for the summer months. And in 2017, as kind of a self-motivation thing, I called it the Summer of the Big Tiger and put it in my workout journal and all of that. And it went from Memorial Day to Labor Day. That was a Monday to a Monday, and it had a nice appeasing feeling for my OCD. This year, 2019, I decided to call my summer Mother's Day, May 12th, to my birthday, Sunday, September 29th. Both of those land on a Sunday, and that was a nice, perfect 20 weeks. So, all of that prologue to say welcome to the Summer of the Big Tiger. I think I can pack that 20-week period that I'm calling my summer of 2019 into 2 episodes. I might have to expand it to 3. We'll see how it all edits out, see how it comes together on the computer. But I do know I got a little bit ahead of myself. I kind of forgot with episode 15, when I discussed the month of May, that my summer started on May 12th. So you've actually already seen a lot of the working out that happened in May, and it happened as part of my official summer. Just as a reminder, it looked like this. Which brings us to June and July of 2019, and all of that footage actually looks a whole lot like May. I would say June and July were pretty good months for getting to the gym. I don't know that I could say I was consistent, but I did go with an increased frequency, and I worked hard when I was there. I do know that I got my deadlift up to 275 pounds one night. I was aiming for 290. I was aiming to set a new personal best, but 290 pounds denied me. So I took a little bit of weight off, and I did get the 275. That was not a personal best at the time, pretty darn close to it. I think in June and July, my personal best of the deadlift was 285. So to get back to 275 after the February and March illness and April and May being not ideal months was a good sign, getting some of that strength back. I also did get my strength back on the bench press. I was able to match my personal best of 250. I still have not topped 250 in 2019. I got it at the beginning of the year, which I showed you in the episode about January. Lost some of that strength when I got sick, and then got it back up, as you see here. Still trying to break that personal best. It's been windier than I'd like as I was setting up the camera, so I will probably do most of the commentary for this event back at the studio, but I did want to briefly greet you personally in between gusts of wind here at the Skyview Middle School track. This is the track that I stood on June 21st, 2010, when I took literally my first steps to better health and fitness with my coach at the time, Dan Ward. Ever since then, I have come back here every year on June 21st for a commemorative jog, and this year is no exception, except for the one year where they were actually redoing the asphalt, and there was no track to jog on. It was just a bunch of dirt, so I had to settle for one back in Redmond. Anyway, I'm going to do a 30-minute jog. I'm going to, time it, see how fast I do the mile, see how fast I do my average lap, all of the usuals. But this track and this date is special to me just because this is where and when it all started 9 years ago. It's July 1st, 2019, and it's time to see what kind of progress I've made. Now, I've been weighing in all through June, so I happen to know the answer is not very much. But we're going to get the official number here. And I confess, actually, this morning, when I stepped on the scale, I weighed more than my first weigh-in in January. And I was so determined that that number was not going in the record books that I waited. I waited until after I exercised, I waited until after I worked, I waited until after I worked out. It is now 11:55, and I think I have a number on this scale that I can finally put in the spreadsheet and feel good about. Yes, that's cheating, but a year from now, nobody's going to care. Looks like I have to. Okay. Yes, thank you. And that is why, no matter how much you love your wife and no matter how much she loves you, if you're creating a video for public viewing, you don't let her run the camera. Darling, give it to me, give it, give it, give it. July 4th is wonderful in Redmond, Oregon. Redmond is a flag city. It's one of 2 in the United States. And we are designated as a flag city because on every patriotic holiday, the city places hundreds of American flags down the 2 or 3 major thoroughfares. And then at mid-morning, we have an absolutely charming 4th of July parade. In the afternoon, I went out for a commemorative Independence Day jog. Consider it my quest to be independent from my body fat. At this point in 2019, I was still part-time with the news studio that I work for, and it meant that on Fridays I was needed at noon for an hour, and then from 1 to 3, nobody at the studio needed me for anything, and so if the weather was good, I would go out and I would hike up Pilot Butte, and I know I've already introduced you to that. I have a little bit of footage here from my hike up it on July 5th. All I had with me was actually my camera that does still photos and video, and the video is pretty cheap, but here it is anyway.
Come on, because that's 10 seconds. Pardon, sorry. 45, 6, 7, 8, 9, 50. Do you want it? 53. July 5th, 2019. Bottom to top, 17:53.
I managed to get up Pilot Butte several times in 2019 during warm days, and my time got better and better each time. Each time I pushed myself a little harder to see if I could just clip a few seconds off it. And I will say that as recently as last year, I scoffed at the idea of ever being able to jog up it the way I see some people doing. There's this one guy. He's been out there more than once the same time I have been, and in the time it takes me to get to the top, he's gone up and back down twice, at least, jogging the whole time. I thought that would be forever out of my reach. This summer, I actually reached a point where I could jog about a quarter of it, starting at the base and going up before it got really, really steep. I don't know, I may make that a 2020 goal to see if I could jog all the way to the top just once. I don't know. Anyway, I've been getting pretty good times going up there. I'll see if I've got some footage from August or September to document that. I don't know. I don't know what I've kept. And this is one of the drawbacks of reporting on these things half a year after they've happened. So we need to move right along now to August.